Hello guys, so today we are actually going to go over exponents and I'm going to do about 7 videos on this one. Mainly because there's a lot of stuff to cover whenever it comes to exponents, and it's one of the things that you guys are probably going to see a lot if you go to a higher level math. Alright, now let's go ahead and go over the basics of an exponent. So you're going to have two things whenever you talk about exponents. Pretty easy. The first thing that you're going to have is going to be called a base. Now this can be a number or a letter, it doesn't really matter. But it's always going to be a big number below your exponent. Now you're probably asking, what's an actual exponent? Well, an exponent is going to be this bad boy right here. The one on top, the tiny number on top of your big number is going to be what we call the exponent power. All right, so that's the degree in which it's going to get, well, in theory, an exponent, what it does, it tells you how many of the bottom one you have. So in this case, I can rewrite this one as 4 times 4. But we use exponent notation just to simplify it a little bit. So it's going to be power of 4 to the power of 2. Okay. Now that's just basic exponents. Now from here, we're going to go over a couple things. We're going to start going over the different rules that you have. All right, like I was saying, let's go over the different rules. So the first rule that we're going to be learning is going to be called the product rule. Okay, so what the product rule is going to tell us is that we're going to be multiplying, well, whenever you are multiplying two bases, that means whenever you have the same base and you're multiplying together and they're the same, the way that we're going to be dealing with the exponents is that we're going to be adding them. Okay, so we're going to be writing and we're going to be adding the exponents. Now, first things first, it says, and you can see the rule right here. I'm even going to highlight it that way you can see it. So this is exactly what we're talking about. So I'm going to have, I have the same base, right? But we have two numbers. We have number m and number n. What we're going to do, we're going to rewrite the base, and then we're going to add the exponents. So that's what we're going to be doing with the problems right below. So we have this one. We have x to the power of 3 times x to the power of 8. We have the same base, so I'm looking at this guy first. I can see I have the same base, so all I'm going to do is go ahead and write my base again. So it's going to be base x, and then we're going to do 3 plus 8. And it's basic math, so 3 plus 8 is 11, so my answer is x to the power, or to the 11th power. There we go. That is the first one. Pretty easy. Now let's go ahead and look at the second problem. Same thing, we're going to be looking at the base. So we do have the same base, so make sure you go ahead. They always have to be the same base, because if you don't have the same base, you cannot add the exponent. You just have to leave them right next to each other. And you're going to see an example right now. So right now, I have my base of 2, so I'm going to write the base first, and then I'm going to go ahead and add both of my exponents. So 4 plus 2. That's going to give me 2 to the power of 6. And that is it. That's my answer. Now, technically, for this one, I can actually figure out what 2 to the power of 6 is, but we're just dealing with simplifying exponents, so we're going to leave it like that. We're going to leave it in exponent form. Now, if I ask you to simplify, then you would have to simplify the number, but not in this case. We're just trying to learn the rules, so we're not going to be thinking too much on that. Next problem, same thing, same concept. So I'm going to be looking at my bases. So now we have two different numbers, right? We have x and then we have y. And all of them have different exponents, right? The first x has an exponent of 2. Now, the first y doesn't have an exponent. Now, this is very important that you guys understand. If your number or your letter doesn't have an exponent, it's just a number or letter, you always consider it to have an exponent of 1 whenever you're adding and subtracting and doing all the power rules and the exponent rules. So in this case, I know that the first y, this one right here, has a power of 1. And we're going to write a 1 every time that it doesn't have anything. So now we're just going to go back and start adding my exponent. So we're going to start with x. So we're going to write the base of x. And I have two numbers for that one. I have a 2 and a 3. So I'm going to be adding those two. Now for the y, we know that we have a 1 and a 4. And we just need to add the exponent. So my answer for this one is going to be, well, lucky for us, x to the 5th, y to the 5th too. And that is my Let me lower this a little bit. I think I can do it. There we go. So that's my answer for this one. Pretty easy. And again, this stuff is not very difficult. It's just that. Now, what I'm going to do from here on out, and I'm going to be doing it for all these videos, I'm going to show you how to do the main problem, and I'm going to show you a couple examples, and then I'm just going to be quiet and do the other ones. Okay, so if you want, you can stop the video right here, or you can keep watching just to see if you can actually do the problems yourself. Now, I do expect you guys to show all of the notes, so meaning you're going to have to show how to do the bottom ones too. That's what I'm saying. So just watch the video, you'll be able to do it, and just follow along. Now, if you want to do it yourself, then you can do it yourself. It's fine. Now, for this one, actually, I'm going to go ahead and cross out the first one because it's not needed. So I'm just going to show how to do the last 3 problems.